I want to thank everybody for watching Crypto Revolution. We talk about everything crypto almost daily, jumping right into the market. Today in crypto, just in, President Biden has asked Congress for $100 billion in funding for Ukraine and Israel. I said, don't worry, guys. We can print endless amounts of money. We got you. Just whatever you need, we can just print more. The United States debt's out of control. Back to Bitcoin. Bitcoin 6-hour chart. So after the fake out yesterday, you've got price action holding right at the mid-range. We talked about the idea where Bitcoin price action needs to flip the mid-range and hold for a move to the range high up here, 31,000, 31,800. Big things happen when you break above this level. Then you could see 36,000. Right, but you do have a rising channel. That 68% chance this breaks to the downside at some point. But Bitcoin dominance is very bullish. So that'll help us time a move out of Bitcoin. We'll get to that in just a second. Bitcoin 1-hour chart. So I made some changes to how I had this drawn. This rising broadening wedge. Again, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, plenty of touches on the bottom and the top as well. Valid pattern and the breakout level just overhead, right about 28,500. So flip this level and then you could see a $30,000 Bitcoin. I've got some amazing shout outs in my leverage trading group and spot trading group. We hit Bitcoin. This person 1,000%, 10x his money on one trade, 175%, 131, 123. 120, 119, 107, 102, 94, 84. Email me, cryptobitcoinchris@gmail.com. The cheapest prices ever, 60% off plus 100 or 200 off. Just shoot me an email. We'll get you in the group quickly. The spot group killing it. Here's 37% profits on STX, 46% on WaxP, 29% on RNDR. So again, banger after banger. The most important thing in this market is you got to be in the right coins, and I can help you. Binance is going to stop accepting new UK users to comply with ad rules. So if you are in the United Kingdom, there's a VIP link for MEXC. Make sure to make a MEXC account. VIP link will save you half price on your trading fees. Bitcoin ETF. So the latest, and this came out by Bloomberg, and they talked about a lot of ideas, and I want to cover those with you. Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. Never has a private trust been converted to an ETF. So GBTC, they won in court, but they still have to go through the approval process. I'm going to go over what could be lacking that the other spot Bitcoin ETFs are working on. So GBTC might be forced to refile. ARK is the guinea pig because it has dates coming before all the other ETFs. So the SEC, here's the big bullish news on the Bitcoin spot ETFs. The SEC has replied to all the ETF issuers. They're asking very legal and detailed responses. This hints at the approval idea because the SEC is working with the issuers. So the staff of the SEC working with the issuers are trying to nail down all the details. And this is big. So the SEC wants specific custodial arrangements in detail, spelled out. They want to know what the mechanics around hard forks will be. They want to understand the valuation and pricing sources and adherence to GAAP. Risk disclosure around regulatory uncertainty needs to be addressed. Mining is very energy intensive, and they just want this stated. So most important thing is there's a lot of minor details that the SEC is asking for. The SEC wants risks involving illicit transactions stated in the applications. On mining, they want the applications to come out and say Bitcoin mining is energy intensive and may have negative environmental impacts and affect the price of Bitcoin. Most important thing out of this is it's clear, because the SEC wasn't doing this before. So remember, 11 years ago, the first Bitcoin spot ETF was applied for, obviously didn't get approved. But now you're seeing the SEC working with the spot Bitcoin ETF applications. They're basically trying to beef up all of the paperwork. Everything that's being addressed in the applications needs to be clearly stated. And so it's real quick to see that, hey, things are different. Now it's been Bloomberg, they're stating, hey, it might take a couple months to get this worked out. First of the year is possible. ARK Invest will be the first Bitcoin spot ETF coming up for approval. There's a third approval and a final approval coming for ARK Invest, and it's sooner than the other spot Bitcoin ETFs. European market watchdog is advising crypto firms to prepare for rules. So this report is just talking about, hey, in Europe, there's a bunch of crypto regulations coming. Implementation of the regulation is scheduled for January 2025. And so they've really emphasized the importance of digital asset companies seeking authorization from national regulatory authorities. And again, we'll see this January 2025. And when this comes out, obviously prior to that, I'm sure the United States will be looking to see what Europe does as far as what type of regulations we see in the United States. And, will this flow over to a global situation where we've seen a lot of anti-money laundering type rules on a global scale? So one important idea, Binance's French legal director said that since the MiCA bill is going to take effect June 2024, they have not yet approved any stable coins. So Binance plans to delist all stable coins in Europe on June the 30th, 2024. So again, not amazing news if you're a heavy in stable coins. I've always had a theory that all these regulations just start coming down and people are just so frustrated, they just start dumping all their money into Bitcoin. Bitcoin takes off. If you see some of these spot Bitcoin ETFs get approved, we're talking huge numbers out of Bitcoin, right? People are going to FOMO into Bitcoin, not the altcoins. The weekly Bitcoin chart, you see that we had that fake out previously. The weekly candle needs to close above this 200 SMA, which has been the bear market bottom previously down here. In the bear market before that, 2018, 2019. You want to start talking about bullish ideas, you got to flip that first. And then this is the major level that the bulls need to break out. And that's 31,800, right? You lose 25,000, you're coming down to 23,000, then 20,000. Any dips going forward would be good ideas to accumulate Bitcoin. We're going to see a lot of upside out of Bitcoin in the future. With the Bitcoin halving run-ups that we've seen in the past, you can definitely do real well off Bitcoin. And normally Bitcoin, when the Bitcoin halving is taking place or prior to it, Bitcoin acts like the altcoins and outperforms most of the market. And so just to make sure that idea is clear. Another important idea is Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance, this is a very bullish chart where you've had this consolidation and then breakout, retest, and you're bet up here at this overhead resistance level at about 52.5%. So Bitcoin dominance, this thing takes off. Like, so when Bitcoin pumped yesterday on the ideas of a Bitcoin spot ETF approval, Bitcoin dominance pumped. People bought Bitcoin quickly, right? There's bots everywhere programmed to scrape Twitter, to scrape Reddit, to scrape, and immediately they will buy Bitcoin as soon as they see any announcement of a Bitcoin spot ETF, right? But you break this level, and I mean, the target's right on in here, about 58, 59% Bitcoin dominance, and people will sell altcoins and they'll move to Bitcoin when Bitcoin is running hard. So understand that narrative. Bitcoin could easily reach $15 trillion market cap, says Anthony Scaramucci. So this is 26x. Do I think it's possible? Yes. Do I think it's going to happen next cycle? Doubtful. I mean, who knows what the Bitcoin spot ETFs are going to do, but 26x out of Bitcoin, I mean, it would make it a $15 trillion asset, immediately catapulting the market cap of Bitcoin from $543 billion to $15 trillion Didn't happen immediately per se, but if a Republican gets elected as president of the United States, if all the stars align, you're definitely going to see massive amounts of Bitcoin upside just based on Bitcoin spot ETF, Bitcoin halving coming. And then you have to think that the president being Republican would be a lot. I mean, Biden, he's not pro Bitcoin, he's not pro crypto, right? He's obviously, we're dealing with Gary Gensler in the SEC and he's a Yahoo. But tremendous amount of upside in the future for Bitcoin. And all this does is bring new money into the market, right? I don't like to put numbers or price points on Bitcoin because never fails, the top of the bull market comes like in 2017. Everybody's looking for $100,000 Bitcoin. Maxes out just under 20,000 and then the bottom falls out. Same thing happened with the last Bitcoin run up. Got to 69,000. Everybody's looking for 100,000 and they got caught holding Bitcoin as it rolled over. So again, lots of bullish ideas long-term for Bitcoin. If you like the content that I provide on a daily basis, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment in the comment box. Thanks so much. I'll see you guys tomorrow.